Portal here at the 2019 Summer UDS Invitational Tournament in Indianapolis introduce yourself and what you play.
Robert Riley, and I played Witchcrafter.
Witchcrafter? My goodness. And you made day 2?
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, you want to show us the spice?
Yep, for sure. For the main deck, I played one Pottery. It's the worst card in the deck, but it comes up when you're losing. You can banish. You can banish it from the graveyard when you have no cards in hand. Target any Witchcrafter card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So it has like plays when you set all your back row, add back a card you really need, and then play from there. Next is 3 Pottery. This is like the jaw card essentially. In the graveyard effect, they all have the same effect on field. I'll just show all 3. All 3 have the same effect on field, where you tribute itself as cost and a spell from your hand to special summon any Witchcrafter from deck. And then the grave effects are the add back. This draws a card and pitches a Witchcrafter card. And then this Foolish Barrel is any Witchcrafter card. So these are all like the level 4s and lowers. For the boss monsters, you play 1 Vire and 2 Hain. This is the one everybody really knows, like the Smug Lolly as they call her. But she can boost attack and defense, and what she's really good for is a blanket effect, like a skill drain or effect failure for every current monster on their side, my opponent's side of the field. And this is like Zodiac Trident, I call it, because it just pitch a spell, target any face-up card, and destroy it during your player's turn. Both of these are during your player's turn. And then if you have 2 on the board, which is why I like to play 2, they have the effect where you can't target other spellcaster type monsters, period. And if you have, like I said, 2, it's like a soft lock where they can't target any of your spellcasters now. So it comes up a lot.
That's nice.
If I have other monsters, I just play some hand traps. I play the 3 Gamma and the Driver. As I said, these tribute as cost. So you have no monsters on your field, and it loses the Ash. So you just have Gamma and then Call by the Graves later on in the video that stopped that. And then lastly, I played 2 Ogre, because I think it's just the best hand trap right now. I thought about playing 3, but then I thought to myself, I want to see more spells than monsters. So I just said 2 is fine, and I didn't play Ash at all.
There's another secret Witchcrafter, right?
Yes, actually, it's called Golem, but I don't play it. Like, I tried playing it at locals and everything, it was terrible. You have to wait for your opponent to target your monster by a card effect, and if you have double Hain, it doesn't work anyway, or attack you, and then what it does, you bounce a card on their field or a Witchcrafter spell to your hand and special summon it, but it doesn't negate that targeting that happened. The attack thing's fine, but like they're going to out your monster if they attack you. Or if, like I said, if they target you, let's just say they Widow Anchor my 1 of Hain or my Vire, and I'm like, chain this card. What am I going to bounce? Like your special your monster? I'm not going to do that. If I bounce a spell back to my hand, summon this card, you still take my my monster with Widow Anchor. That card was really bad. I practiced it for so long, and it just never came up. It always was a brick in my hand. Next is the spells. I play the 3 Creation, of course. This is your Rhoda. And then every Witchcrafter spell at the end phase, if you didn't use the first effect, returns to your hand. This is how you gain advantage, especially over strikers and stuff like that, that you just gain so much advantage where you're winning when they're losing. What it ends up being, a lot of people side like Imperial Order and anti-spells against me. It's funny because the Order people are like Dracos and stuff, where I just say, okay, keep that on the field. I don't really, in the beginning you might resolve one of these to search a monster, but once you have your monsters on board, it's your monster effects pitching the spells to get the effects. So it was great people thinking that stuff actually hurt me, but it hurt them more than it hurt me. Next is 3 Holiday. I was playing 2 of this, but then I found out like it's one of the best cards in the deck. This is a Monster Reborn, and then again it adds stuff back at the end phase, but it uses the first effect. And lastly, I didn't play any Collaboration, which is lets you attack twice, but this is Draping. It bounces spell and trap cards on your opponent's side of the field up to the amount of Witchcrafters you control. It helped me a lot of games. Like you can bounce back the True Draco skill drain when they try to activate it, so you still activate your Hains and stuff. And then lastly, I played the Buy Street. This is the best card in the deck. I wanted to play 2 of it today, but I came to the venue thinking they wouldn't have any of this, and that's exactly what happened. They didn't have any, so I couldn't end up. And I pretty much bought a whole box and only pulled 1. I just said, nah, I just have to play 1. Because this is literally the best card. While it's on the field, your opponent cannot destroy your Witchcrafter monsters by battle by card effect once each. So playing 2 of this would have been the best thing ever. But sometimes when you have this placed, lastly, this card does not go back to your hand at the end phase. It replaces itself on the field, which is great. But a lot of times you don't have a spell in your hand, and you had to send this for the effect, because it has another effect where if you were to use any Witchcrafter monster as effect to tribute or either send a spell, you can send this from the field instead. I had to do it so many times. I have a spell in my hand, and then I didn't have the protection of it, and this was like again the best card in the deck. For other spells, 3 call, like I said, because you lose the Ash. Not that too many people play an Ash anymore, but this is still good against like Orcus and stuff in the main. 2 Foolish Barrel Goods. I was playing Metalphose Fusion as well, but I ended up cutting it because
Freeze play.
You couldn't use this card with it.
Play.
I found that out a whole lot where I see like these together and I want to draw more cards and I can't. But these are really good for the deck. And then this actually, a lot of times if you end up drawing the Pottery instead of the Shemitah, I think is what her name is, you couldn't send your Buy Street. Because Pottery, like I said, it draws you card instead of sends. So this is really good to send Buy Street to the graveyard.
The current phase.
So technically 3 copies of Buy Street.
If you have a time extension,
6 including Shemitah. Next, this is what I thought would help me win a lot of the Striker matches. Surprisingly enough, I lost to both my Striker matches. And this, I mean, this was still great. It helped me win many duels, but I don't know if I'd play 3 of it again if I did. It was really good though. Next, I did play Terraforming, and for some reason it's not here. I think it's on my side still. I also played a Mine. The reason I wanted to play this because again, a lot of times we have this one monster on the field, and I'm not playing this to like activate Mine. You lose from like having less cards in your deck. We actually have, like I said, the monster Vire. This has come up a lot as well, where you just sit on Vire and this, or no monsters at all. With this, eventually you summon Vire and then go to battle phase, and you can activate her effect to reveal as many spells you want in your hand with different names, and you gain 1,000 attack for each, so you can OTK through Mine. Yeah, and I only played 1 because, again, I'm trying not to be a degenerate player, but I'm trying to also, like, gain advantage when I'm losing. That's the idea. Yeah, for sure. This was my favorite card in the deck. Literally, nobody, there's 3 times today I activated this card as a first card, and they're like 1. Thinking it's Inferno. Yeah. And another time today, I summoned a Prankertops, I guess like an Orcus player. I activated this card, thinking like, hoping to get a Cheshire card, and I had another Prankertops. So that came off of it, so that helped me win the duel as well. That card is awesome. Next is 2 Steward Probably in the main, actually. I love this card a lot in the main. I kind of wish I played 3, because it hit every deck today almost. It's just a really good card. And then lastly, last minute decision, I played, this was all in there, but I played this, because I realized like if I didn't see any kind of like good floodgate or like the secret village, or it didn't affect my opponent, and I needed to just have Hain on the board. Hain and Buy Street isn't enough alone. Like your opponent still can go off. Like one Dryden pop nowadays is not a make it or break it for people anymore. So seeing this was so good. Like against again Orcus again, they would normally on map petition send Harp, activate Harp, and I just activate this. And they're stuck on their map petition, and they outed this once by using that the cool 10E cards. They wrote a bounces back to my hand, and but the problem with that is then he was stuck with like the 10E cards because I had to have the second one. Like he, no matter what, he was always stuck on something.
The main deck count?
42.
42. All right, nice.
42. Side or extra?
Extra is cool.
Okay, for the extra, this will be totally out of order because I play Extravagance, but Omega, I played 2 of the Violent Chimera. This is also last minute decision, and no matter what, I still lost the all 3 Orcus players, or not Orcus, Salad players that I played, yeah. And then I played this is almost all Super Poly targets. I played the 3 Mud Dragon, the 1 of this, Draco Spell, yeah, or something. And then I played 3 of the Starting Venom. Next I played for these. This is really just be able to out monsters or whatever that I don't want on my board. Like there's times where I have to go down, especially for Mystic Mind and stuff like that, like, against Striker players. And then lastly, 2 Phoenix, because the Phoenix is just the most generic card, and I don't want to if I banish it, I don't have it. And lastly, a Boral Sword. This is almost, I went to none of these. Like this could have been more Super Poly targets if there was more targets that are available.
Hey, fodder for the pot, man.
Right, that's what you need. And for the side, 2 pranks, they were good, really good today. I cited 3 of these. Well, my idea with this, especially even at locals, I just see like Thunder Dragon players and Orcus players, they keep adding more stuff, Appaloosas and stuff to their deck. It takes them 13, 14 minutes to make a board when it's, an awkward hand or something. And like by game 3, we have like 8 minutes or less. And I'm thinking to myself, my plays are very cut and dry. They're really fast. So it shouldn't be my fault that we're in game 3 and I lose to like, a combo player because they took all their time, wasting my time making their boards. So I said to myself, game 3, if we're at 8 minutes, I'll side this in, and if you're making your board or whatever, you can keep on making it if you want to, but this is gonna stop you, or I'm just gonna win from it because you take 13-minute boards and we have 4 minutes left or whatever. Next is, oh, it didn't win me any games, by the way. I cited it in like 3 times all day, because again, I just it didn't really come up, and it didn't win me any, so. Don't play this. 3 evenly matched because it's one of the best cards against Draco. Even I like it against Orcus too. Like if you can bait out the Abyss if they're playing the Guard Dragon stuff and use this, it's most of the time a blowout. Well, this and Call by the Grave is a blowout. But next is, I played this bad card too. I've always played this card, I don't know why, but I've always played Royal Decree. It won me 1 game today, if it mattered.
Against what?
Or not today, yesterday, I apologize. Against that Mystic Mind Wave Burn thing.
Oh, geez.
I played one, after my first loss, I played one of those after the first Slayer loss, and I was just like, wow, I'm gonna lose this guy. Game 1, he had Mystic Mind. I popped it with Dryden. He demised, got another Mystic Mind, and then had 2 waves. So I couldn't out the cards in 4 turns, so he just took a double wave killed me. So I'm just like, yeah, these came in, and these actually came up. He actually said that he lost because of this. But next is 2 summon limits, also good cards. This and Rivalry of the Warlords hurt a lot of decks, especially Thunder stuff. Yeah, Thunder, Orcus, all that stuff. And then finally the third, Super Poly, and then 1.2 the last 2 mines. Because again, you have a big negate board, took 13 minutes to make it, and I can bait out your spell and trap negates, mine can help me win the duel.
Very nice.
Yep.
Any shoutouts?
Shoutouts to Galaxy Gaming. We actually just started here recently. We have our service, but we're not working on them today. Shout out to them, and shout out to Galaxy Games, where actually we created that that thing. So that's about it.
Oh, sweet. Well, congrats on making day 2 with the Witchcrafters, man.
Thank you.